selalu ada untukmu Indonesia, menghadapi semua rintangan yang ada.
Ku akan selalu menjaga tanah air tercinta yang ku banggakan di setiap semua insan.
Kita Indonesia, beragam suku, agama, dan budaya. Kita Indonesia,
Berbeda tapi tetap
satu jiwa. Kita kan lewati semua yang menghadang, bila kita terus bersama-sama berjuang.
kita akan selalu percaya.
Bencana yang melanda akan berakhir dengan senyum bahagia.
Looking back, I see we went through hell straight and back. Here we clear a title, now it's time to retake. We got and we won, say, show them all we got. Gotta stand together, our foundation's all we got. Ashes, that's all in the past now. We stand united up front, watch us get down low. You heard me once, say it twice, now blow out all the candles, put on a show. We gotta stand together. Yeah, we gotta stand together now.
Kita Indonesia, beragam suku, agama, dan budaya. Kita Indonesia, berbeda-beda tapi tetap satu jiwa. Kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa.
Kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa.
Kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa. Kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa. Kita Indonesia,
Kita pasti bisa.
kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa. Kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa. Kita Indonesia, kita pasti bisa.
Halo, selamat pagi semuanya. Happy Saturday nih untuk semua. Mudah-mudahan sehat selalu, tetap semangat, dan selalu excited nih. Excited dalam studi, excited dalam berkarya, dan excited dalam mencapai masa depan ya. Selamat datang di sesi virtual talk show yang diselenggarakan oleh UIC College Kampus Kelapa Gading. Saya Alia, dan akan menemani teman-teman semua di acara talk show hari ini. Nah, senang sekali nih kita dapat berkumpul bersama nih. Nah, today is very special day. Kenapa? karena pada hari ini kita akan memberikan berbagai informasi terkait program studi ke Australia nih, dengan topik Start Your First Year in Jakarta, Graduate with a Bachelor Degree in Australia. Sudah tidak sabar ya pastinya ya. Apalagi para narasumber kita hari ini juga luar biasa nih, karena mereka adalah para expert di bidangnya. Izinkan saya memandu acara hari ini dalam dua bahasa ya, yakni bahasa Indonesia dan bahasa Inggris. Nah, sebelum kita lanjut, saya mau menginformasikan nih, apa sih UIC College itu? Mungkin teman-teman di sini banyak yang bertanya nih. Jadi UIC College merupakan bagian dari Unisa Duguna yang merupakan institusi pendidikan internasional di Indonesia. Salah satu program kita adalah program diploma dari University of Technology Sydney atau biasa disebut dengan UTS College, di mana UTS College di Jakarta ini dijalankan di bawah naungan UIC College dan dikenal sebagai UIC UTS College Program. Program ini memberikan kemudahan bagi para siswa di Indonesia untuk meraih gelar sarjana di number one Young University in Australia, yaitu UTS. Nah, penasaran kan pastinya? Untuk lebih jelas apa sih Unisa Duguna itu, mungkin kita boleh nih menyaksikan satu video mengenai Unisa Duguna. Silakan. Nah, itu dia. Jadi, Unisa Duguna merupakan integrated international education provider di Indonesia. Ibaratnya one stop solution. Why? Karena kita nih yang ingin melanjutkan studi ke luar negeri nggak perlu pusing-pusing lagi nih cari tempat studi sana sini. Tinggal ikut program Unisa Duguna melalui program-programnya, mulai dari program bahasa, program proses pembelajaran akademik yang menggunakan kurikulum internasional, hingga placement di university luar negeri, semua bisa didapatkan di Unisa Duguna nih, di satu tempat aja. Dan semua bisa dimulai dari Jakarta terlebih dahulu nih, mulai dari jenjang SMA hingga kuliah. Keren sekali ya. Nah, sebelum acara kita mulai, saya mau mengenalkan para guest speaker kita hari ini. ada Miss Aryani Mawardi, BA MIM, a strong certified career consultant, and head of UIC College Kelapa Gading Campus. Hai Miss Aryani.
Hai, selamat pagi Miss Alia.
Selamat pagi
Kabar
Miss.
semua? Semoga
Alhamdulillah sehat. Mudah-mudahan sehat semua ya.
sama Iya.
And we have Miss Mariam Kartika Tresni, Country Director UTS College. Halo Miss Mariam.
Halo. Halo.
Apa kabar nih Miss? Mudah-mudahan selalu sehat ya Miss ya.
Ya, makasih.
And then we have Mr. Thomas Wu, Coordinator International Pathway Programs from University of Technology Sydney. Hi Mr. Thomas.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Mr.?
I'm good. Thanks.
We have our alumni, Maximilian Malvin Wirawan, an undergraduate student of Business Information System Management, University of Technology Sydney, and UIC UTS College Diploma of IT alumni. Halo Malvin, apa kabar?
Halo Miss, baik.
Hai, mudah-mudahan selalu sehat ya.
Ya.
Last but not least, we have Raffi Yusuf Budiman, System Support at WPP AUNZ, and University of Technology Sydney alumni, and also UIC UTS College Diploma of Business alumni. Mungkin bisa tepuk tangan nih untuk guest speaker kita hari ini nih. Okay, if you have any question for the speaker, you may drop them to chat box by typing the following format: name, parent or school, parent or student, school, and question. Jadi kalau misalkan teman-teman ada yang ingin ditanyakan kepada guest speaker kita, teman-teman bisa ketik di kolom chat box sesuai dengan format yang sudah disediakan ya. Nah, teman-teman pasti penasaran nih, ingin mengetahui gimana sih caranya bisa mendapatkan gelar sarjana di Australia, tapi mulai dari Indonesia dulu nih, pasti pada bertanya-tanya dong, gimana sih caranya? Dan gimana nih caranya mengikuti program yang memberikan kemudahan tersebut bagi kita? Dan mungkin pada bertanya juga, apa sih yang dimaksud number one Young University in Australia, dan gimana caranya bisa kuliah di university ini? Mungkin tanpa panjang lebar, kita boleh minta bantuan Miss Mariam nih untuk menjelaskannya. Miss Mariam, the time is yours.
Oke, terima kasih banyak Bu. Mungkin bisa saya jelaskan mengenai UTS di Indonesia, tapi sebelumnya mungkin yang belum dengar University of Technology Sydney, saya bisa jelaskan sedikit mengenai apa sih University of Technology Sydney. Kita itu universitas nomor 1 yang muda di Australia, dan juga di dunia sekarang di 2021 atas ranking di Times Higher Education Young University Rankings. We are number 9, top 10 in the world for young universities. So we are very proud that we are a very young university yang nggak kalah dengan universitas-universitas yang sudah lama juga established di dunia dan juga di Australia, but we're doing very well in the rankings. So one of the things also about UTS yang I think most parents dan mungkin murid-murid ingin tahu adalah bagaimana kita kalau misalnya setelah lulus bekerjanya seperti apa. We are in the top 100 in the world in ranking 69 for graduate employability. Jadi kalau misalnya one of the things that are unique about UTS adalah we really support our students in being prepared for the world, the workplace in the world after school. So that's one of the things. The other thing is we would also like to share with you bahwa kita di Australia juga tidak kalah. We are in the top 10, of course, against all the universities yang sudah established dan lebih dari 50 tahun. So we're very young. We have rise the ranks very fast. We have really focused on technology. We're also very close to the industry, following their trends dan mengikuti apa yang ada dalam perkembangan di dunia sekarang dari segi teknologi dan lain-lain. Dan mungkin perlu kita jelaskan bahwa kita sangat-sangat bangga ya bisa bekerja sama dengan Unisa Duguna karena mereka menjadi partner kita dari awal kita di Indonesia, dan kita memilih mereka karena mereka itu kita lihat mempunyai track record dengan bekerja dengan institusi internasional dan dapat mempertahankan kualitas-kualitas yang kita sangat sebagai institusi yang membantu para murid sebelum masuk ke universitas. Jadi kalau misalnya ada yang nanti ingin bertanya mengenai bedanya UTS College dengan UTS sendiri, mungkin sebenarnya UTS College adalah bagian dari University of Technology Sydney, namun kami adalah suatu organisasi yang dimiliki oleh UTS untuk membantu terutama seringnya international student untuk mempersiapkan diri sebelum masuk ke universitas. Jadi itu adalah UTS College. Mungkin itu yang ingin kami sampaikan mengenai partnership-nya, dan juga di Indonesia tadi juga oleh moderatornya ditanyakan bahwa bagaimana nih bisa masuk ke Universitas Teknologi sini. Yang kita miliki di Indonesia yaitu melalui UIC, UTS College, kita menjalankan program diploma bisnis dan juga IT dan engineering pada saat ini. Kita mempunyai 3 stream diploma yang dijalankan di Indonesia karena mereka itu juga merupakan diploma-diploma yang sangat populer oleh orang Indonesia yang ingin masuk ke universitas di Australia. Tapi tidak menutup kemungkinan kita bisa membuka diploma-diploma lain yang kita juga jalankan di Australia seperti kita punya communication, design, dan juga science. So we look forward to working closely with Unisa Duguna untuk membantu mahasiswa dan calon mahasiswa di Indonesia untuk mempersiapkan diri masuk ke universitas yang sangat-sangat vibrant, yang sangat very dynamic, yang sangat mengikuti kebutuhan situasi pekerjaan di masa depan ini. So I think that is all I would like to share from us dari UTS dan UTS College untuk saat ini. Terima kasih.
Thank you, Ms. Mariam, for your explanation. Mungkin kita beralih ke Ms. Aryani nih, Bapak, Ibu, dan teman-teman sekalian. Mengenai bagaimana sih program UTS ini dijalankan di UIC College, dan siapa saja yang bisa bergabung di program ini, dan jurusan apa aja sih, Miss, yang ditawarkan di UIC College dalam program UTS College ini? Seperti itu, Miss.
Oke, terima kasih Miss Alia atas pertanyaannya. Saya kedengeran ya, jelas nggak ya?
Jelas, Miss.
Oh, oke. Soalnya dari tadi beberapa kali agak freeze saya, jadi agak ini, agak parno. Terima kasih semuanya atas kehadirannya di hari ini. Tadi mungkin sudah disampaikan juga oleh Miss Mariam ya tentang sedikit mengenai UTS College, sedikit mengenai gambaran kira-kira hubungan kami dengan UTS College yang ada di Sydney. Jadi program UTS College yang dijalankan di Jakarta ini adalah programnya sama persis dengan yang dijalankan di Sydney. Para staf pengajar kami sebelumnya juga harus melalui proses approval biasanya dari UTS Sydney. Jadi kalau belum di-approve oleh Sydney, kita belum boleh ngajar gitu di sini. Kemudian sesudahnya kita diberikan training, kemudian kita diawasi juga oleh tim akademik yang di UTS ya. Bahkan kami juga menggunakan learning management system yang sama dengan yang digunakan di Sydney, namanya Canvas. Jadi akses para lecturers kita di sini atau staf pengajar kami di sini dengan yang ada di Sydney itu nyambung dan sama gitu ya kurang lebih aksesnya, dan siswanya juga siswa UIC College itu mendapatkan pengalaman yang sama dengan siswa yang belajar di Sydney karena juga menggunakan learning management system yang sama gitu ya, semuanya sama persis. Cuma bedanya yang siswa UIC College itu belajarnya di Jakarta gitu ya, siswa UTS College di sini belajarnya di Sydney. Untuk jurusannya juga tadi sudah disampaikan oleh Ibu Mariam bahwa kita di sini menjalankan 3 stream ya, yaitu bisnis, engineering, dan juga IT. Kemudian untuk siswanya kami menerima siswa dari IGCSE. Bagi yang kurikulum internasional ya kami menerima siswa IGCSE dan atau kelas 12 gitu bagi yang menjalankan kurikulum nasional. Jadi untuk kurikulum internasional IGCSE, IB juga kita menerima gitu ya, dan kalau dari kurikulum nasional kelas 12. Begitu kira-kira Miss Alia.
Oke, thank you, Miss. Jadi nggak perlu ragu gitu ya untuk teman-teman yang mau masuk UTS, dan UTS ini memang university muda nomor 9 di dunia, top 9 gitu ya, nomor 9. Dan untuk employability rate-nya juga menduduki peringkat 69. Jadi nggak usah takut teman-teman dengan kualitas UTS sendiri, dan jika teman-teman di Jakarta mau ikut UTS College, bisa banget nih daftar di UIC College untuk program UTS College. Seperti itu ya, Miss ya. Nah, aku mau nanya nih ke Miss Mariam.
Yes, I'm here.
Yep. Dari 3 jurusan yang diberikan oleh UTS, jurusan mana sih Miss yang paling favorit? Dan apakah ada alasan khusus nih kenapa jurusan IT, bisnis, dan engineering yang dijalankan di UTS College Jakarta? Seperti itu, Miss.
Kalau dari bisnisnya sendiri, itu sangat populer ya, orang Indonesia pasti mencari bisnis program, satu. Kedua juga IT program, apalagi zaman sekarang ini menjadi sangat-sangat populer karena dengan perubahan di dunia ekonomi ya, dengan digital economy yang ada, jadi kaitan antara bisnis dan IT menjadi sangat populer. Dan di UTS pun sebenarnya ada program-program di mana orang bisa mengambil subjek ya yang terkait dengan IT dan bisnis, walaupun mereka majornya berbeda. Mengenai engineering itu merupakan suatu bidang yang sangat dibutuhkan, tetap selalu dibutuhkan di Indonesia, negara seperti Indonesia. Jadi itu juga murid-murid Indonesia juga mempunyai keinginan untuk belajar mengenai engineering. Jadi saya rasa itu yang alasan kenapa kita memiliki 3 program tersebut ya.
Kalau menurut Miss Maria nih, anak Indonesia ini, student dari Indonesia, paling banyak itu ngambil stream apa, Miss? Apakah jumlahnya sama, merata gitu, atau ada yang lebih banyak di jurusan apa, seperti itu?
Yang pasti sih bisnis IT populer, tapi juga desain juga cukup populer. Ada juga program lain, tapi yang pasti yang 2 tinggi itu bisnis dan IT di Indonesia. Dan ada yang lain tentunya, tapi mungkin kalau kita lihat dari rata-ratanya kita pilih yang paling tinggi dulu yang dijalankan di Indonesia. Jadi itu yang menjadi pertimbangan.
Bisnis ya, Miss ya, berarti ya.
Dan IT juga sangat
populer. Oke.
Ya.
So bisnis and IT itu banyak nih teman-teman yang dari Indonesia. Jadi mungkin buat teman-teman yang mau cari pertemanan juga dengan orang Indonesia, bisa masuk stream tersebut ya. Oke. Nah, untuk Miss Aryani nih, mengenai kualitas akademik, bagaimana sih Miss UIC College ini memastikan program UTS College yang dijalankan di UIC itu sama dengan yang dijalankan di Sydney, Miss? Seperti itu.
Tadi seperti yang sudah saya sampaikan juga ya, selain kita menggunakan sistem yang sama gitu, kira-kira kepersisannya itu sama gitu ya dengan yang di Sydney. Selain itu juga tadi yang saya lupa tambahkan adalah seluruh assessment dan exams itu juga diberikan oleh UTS College gitu ya. Jadi di Indonesia itu kita tidak membuat examnya, sehingga sampai saat ini semua exam itu biasanya diberikan oleh dulu dikirim ya, sempat dikirim, tapi sekarang karena pandemi gitu ya, semuanya melalui online. Sehingga anak-anak kita itu sampai jamnya gitu ya, itu juga harus sama dengan yang sudah ditetapkan di Sydney. Dan sampai saat ini seluruh siswa kita tuh tidak pernah mengalami kesulitan yang berarti gitu ya dalam mendapatkan nilai yang baik dan untuk transfer ke UTS Sydney. Jadi di situ juga menunjukkan bahwa apa yang kita jalankan di UIC College dengan yang di UTS College itu sama persis.
Jadi nggak perlu ragu lagi lah ya, karena UIC UTS College ini memberikan kemudahan bagi siswanya yang memang ingin kuliah di UTS tapi dijalankan di Jakarta dulu nih. Dan tentunya dengan kurikulum yang sama, cara pengajarannya pun nggak jauh beda, tadi juga jam pelajarannya pun juga harus mengikuti yang di sana, maupun secara assignment-nya pun juga sama ya, Miss Aryani ya.
Iya.
Nah, itu tadi informasi dari Miss Aryani mengenai standar program UTS College, di mana program tersebut dijalankan di UIC College, tapi disamakan ya, seperti yang di Sydney, seperti itu. Mungkin kita coba cross-check aja nih ya, ke para alumni yang sudah hadir. Malvin, could you share with us about your journey at UIC UTS College dulu tuh di Jakarta seperti apa?
Thank you, Miss. in my previous high school, we adopted the Cambridge IGCSE learning style, which is very different from the learning style which we're studying right now. And during high school, I realized that I have a passion in learning IT. So after searching countless of different websites, different universities, which countries, I realized that UTS in Australia is specifically more on the IT, and it's still a young university. And some of my friends also are going to this university, so I became interested and started doing research.
Jadi Malvin ini memang tertarik dengan dunia IT sebetulnya. Jadi Malvin memilih UTS sebagai lanjutan untuk studinya karena memang dia ingin bekerja di bidang IT juga, dan impiannya pun terhadap IT juga seperti itu ya.
Ya.
Nah, kalau untuk Raffi gimana nih?
Hi, hello. So similar to Malvin, I also took the IGCSE exam. So my high school was in Springfield. It's in West Jakarta. So I did the O level, and then I went to UIC college for foundation, and then I went to the UTS college there. So the reason why I went there is mostly because I was able to save a lot of time. I was able to save 1 year through this fast track program, and it saves a lot of cost as well. 1 year worth of tuition fee and living expense. And I feel like it's also better transition from high school to uni, because I feel like it's more like I got to dip my foot in the water before I fully submerge and dive. So I had to, it's more like baby steps, you know. So I had to adjust for the change in curriculum first, and then I came to Australia, and then I had to adjust for the change in lifestyle and environment. Whereas for my friends who went straight into UTS, they had to adjust for everything all at once. So they had it more rough. Yeah, so I also love the small classes in UIC. It gives me just more personalized attention, and I get to know the lecturers in a more personal way, and they were able to help me better and give me more attention that way. So that was my experience.
Jadi memang di college pun jumlah studennya sedikit sehingga lebih difokuskan juga ya untuk pembelajarannya.
Yes, true.
Ya. Nah, tadi Miss Mariam dan Miss Aryani sudah menjelaskan nih about the UTS College in UIC College Jakarta. And this part 2 of the talk show, I urge you to think about how UTS College be held in the middle of pandemic. But before that, Mr. Thomas Wu will going to share with us about the pandemic situation in Sydney and Australia as a whole. Mr. Thomas, the time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Alian. Let me just show a very brief kind of a presentation here. Okay. Just see there. Right. Okay. So in Australia, before I start, I'll have to clarify that all the information that I got, it's from either the World Health Organization's official website or the Department of New South Wales Health Department. So this is not my personal data. This is the official government data, right? Now, the data on the WHO website showing that from last year, January 2020, to July this year, which is about yesterday. So there have been 30,643 confirmed cases in the entire Australia. So we have 910 deaths, very sad, but that's the numbers of deaths in Australia. And in terms of vaccinations, we have been administrated about 7,500,700 vaccines to our Australian. It doesn't matter you're international or you're Australian citizens, as long as you're in Australia, you can get vaccinated. So this is a general broad kind of data information about entire Australia. But now, because UTS is located in Sydney, let's look at our state of New South Wales. Okay, Sydney is the biggest city and the capital city of the state of New South Wales. And in New South Wales, in the last 24 hours, we have about 27 tested cases among the 73,000 tests. Okay, so since January 2020, in the entire state of New South Wales, we had about that many 5,697 cases. Okay, and that is amount the 7 million kind of tests. I mean, if you ask about the total population of New South Wales, I would say it's about 8 million. So it's not a big, very populated state, as the entire Australia have a population about 24 million right now. So yeah, so this is the general situations right now. We used to have 0 cases in the entire state for many days, but in the last couple of weeks, we start to see these the new cases popping up. But if you see our cases, it's like 32 cases a day compared to any of the Western countries, United States, UK, any country in Europe. We are under 100. That's just nothing compared to them. So right now, we are trying to encourage all our residents to get vaccinated so that the government can implement their border open kind of plan. And that's the general introduction about the COVID situations in Australia and in Sydney. Thank you. Back to you.
Does the state government give a proposal about the international students to the federal government?
Yes, thank you for asking that. Yes, we do have a proposed, what do we call the education secure corridor. It's already approved by the New South Wales government. And as you know, that Australia is a federal political systems. So each state has a very high autonomous authorities. But for the border to open such as that, we need approval from our federal governments. So New South Wales government already submit this plan to the federal government for approval. I think they submitted on the 22nd of June, about roughly 2 weeks ago. So what this plan means is, right now, we only take the Australian citizens and Australian permanent residents back from overseas. Because our hotel capacities for quarantine is very limited, we can't open the border wide open, let everyone in at the same time, because we just simply won't have enough room for quarantine. But our plan for international students is, we, instead of doing a hotel quarantine, we will allow students to go into our university student accommodation for quarantine for the 14 days mandatory quarantine when they enter our border. But if the federal government actually approve this plan, we will start to roll out this corridor plan to let, I can't really tell exactly how many students, let's just say a certain amount of international students to come back to Australia, to come back to Sydney to study every 2 weeks. Okay, so every 2 weeks, because 14 days, 2 weeks, that's a quarantine period. Yeah, so we will let every 2 weeks, we let a certain amount of students to come back to Sydney to be stay in the student accommodation quarantine. Yeah, so if they all check out, that's fine. After 14 days, they are free to go on the street, to go to campus to do their regular study activities. Yeah, so that all depends on the federal government's decision. And we really hope that the decision will be made very soon. Mm-hmm. Okay, if they actually can prove this plan, we are planning to start this getting the student back at the end of this year, but exactly when, I'm sorry, I can't really tell because I'm not a government representative. I can only tell you that we put our hopes on that plan, and hopefully our Prime Minister and all the ministers in the cabinet will approve this plan. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Is there any particular consideration which makes the federal government has not approved the proposal yet?
Right. As I mentioned before, the whole reason that Australia closed the border to all the international travelers, not only to students, anyone with a temporary visa, visitors on business purpose, on students and anything visiting purpose. The Australian government decided to shut the border is purely to protect the local populations from the COVID-19 situations. And also, I mentioned that, you can see the numbers, right? Compared with UK, United States is number one right now in any aspects in the COVID, the number of deaths, number of infections. Australia maintained a very low numbers of COVID cases. The other reason, as I mentioned before, the hotel quarantines. We really want to welcome our students back, but as you know that we have tens of thousands of international students strangled offshore in their home country, not able to come to Australia. If we open our border widely, then we won't have enough accommodations for the students to quarantine. See, that's a very important thing. The government considered about the capabilities and capacities of our hotels to see how many people can be quarantined at any same time and any time of the day. So if we're actually exceeding that numbers, then when the student come in, we won't be able to let them go into quarantine. So that's a big factor the government considered about. So now, because the student, we decide to let the students go into student accommodation. See, each university have your student accommodations, right? Apartments, units, or the dormitories, or such a thing, right? So we give the plan to the government, say, how about we let the students in and let them stay in the student accommodation that the university provided? Well, we really hope that the government would actually consider that and approve it. But I can't really say that they will or they will not. And if they do, when would they actually approve it? I can't give you a definite answer, but that's what we put our hopes on.
All right. So the number of the international students that will be allowed to enter Australia is 250, right, per week?
Roughly 250 per 14 days. Yep, that's a rough number, but I don't know the exact final numbers. So.
Ya, jadi untuk jumlah international student yang diizinkan masuk ke Australia jika proposal dari pemerintah negara bagian ke pemerintah pusat di-accept adalah sekitar 250 setiap 2 minggu. Tapi untuk saat ini kita masih menunggu persetujuan dari pemerintah pusat, apakah pemerintah pusat menyetujui untuk permasalahan internasional tersebut atau tidak, seperti itu ya. Then what does UTS doing to help the students to tackle difficulties like while doing online learning process in the middle of pandemic?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that. I'm not quite sure if the students are aware that we do have a offshore learning center, that UTS offshore learning center in Indonesia. So it's in it's called a UMN, so it's a university in Indonesia. We set up a learning center in that campus, in that university. So a student can actually go in there to learn a UTS course while they stay and using the facilities of UMN. So this is one of the things. UTS was actually the pioneer of universities set up offshore learning centers. So we initially set up the learning centers in China, but later on in Vietnam, and Indonesia is the third country that we established this arrangement for students to go in and using their facilities. So that's one thing that UTS considered. Actually, the student who actually starting in July intake in 2021, which is this intake, the common intake, they can apply and study on the UMN campus already. So that's one thing that we kind of designed for the students. The other one is if the student doesn't want to go to an offshore learning center, of course, they can choose to study online at home. We design a whole lot of technology kind of tools and help workshops and all the things, right, to help our students to tackle those difficulties. Okay, so on this screen, you can see that. So we have, this is all online support, okay? So this is not just on-campus support. All these things is available for our students, even you are studying offshore in Indonesia. So we have our assignment help. A lot of times when students go to universities, they realize that, oh, okay, so the assignment type, it's very different from what they are used to. So what we do is we design this assignment help. You can actually book a one-to-one sessions online, and our academics will actually give you a session via Zoom, and you can talk to your academics about the difficulty that you have in completing your assignments. To help a student to actually get into this university level studies, we also design a lot of online skills workshop. I personally find this is extremely helpful, okay? It's a whole series of online skills workshop that including how to write in academic style, okay? How to analyze and plan your assignments, how to manage course ratings and make notes, how to do critical thinking. Critical thinking is a very important aspect of, how do I say, Western university teaching and learning, critical thinking. How to paraphrase, summarize, and use the right quotations in your essay and assignments. How to write a lab report. How to write a literature review. Okay, you name it, the whole list of study skills workshops. Okay, that will help students to learn how to get used to the university level. The other one is a very small online study groups. The online study groups is designed for the subjects that in the history that we know a lot of students would fail or would struggle in that particular subjects. Okay, we extract data from the past students' academic performance. Then if we see these particular subjects, there are a lot of students struggling and failing their subjects, then we will help them to get into online study groups. The online study groups is a peer study group. So we have a lot of students who actually did these subjects and they did really well in these subjects before, and they're willing to help their fellow students who just got into this new subject, who actually have no idea what the subject's about. So it's like the students in the second year, they came back to help the students just came in first year for the same subject. I find that really, how do I say that? A very new kind of angle, because we don't look at that in academic teaching angle. We actually tackle the problem from what the student think it's difficult for them. Yeah. So this is whole things, and you can see that you have math and science help, and also you have instant writing feedback. Instant writing feedbacks, it's AI programs. So you write your essays, you submit online, the AI will give you an instant kind of feedback saying, oh, okay, so you have all these grammar kind of mistakes, your text kind of structures, your paragraphs, something wrong with this and that. So this is kind of AI programs. They will give you very quick feedback about your writings. So that's all the academics, right? This is to help students to get used to it.
Ya, jadi untuk teman-teman yang nantinya akan melanjutkan ke UTS, masuk di tahun kedua dan selanjutnya, nggak perlu khawatir nih gimana sih cara belajar online-nya seperti itu, karena UTS juga melihat dari sudut pandang si student ini nih, bagaimana sih kesulitan mereka. Nah, maka dari itu UTS mencari solusi. Ada teman-teman bisa ke UMN sebagai pusat sebagai offshore learning center UTS di Indonesia. Jadi teman-teman bisa menggunakan fasilitas-fasilitas yang ada di UMN, tapi teman-teman nggak usah khawatir. Bukan berarti teman-teman siswa dari UMN seperti itu, tapi teman-teman masih siswa UTS. Jadi cuman hanya menggunakan fasilitasnya aja seperti itu ya. Dan kemudian juga UTS menyediakan online skills workshop seperti itu, dan kemudian juga ada online study group seperti itu, dan akan dibantu lah intinya. Okay, what kind of approaches done by UTS to help the international students stay comfortable while doing online learning process in the middle of pandemic?
Okay, to make our student comfortable. Okay.
Yeah. That's the point.
Right. Again, if you are if you don't like to study from home, you can always apply for our offshore learning center. That's in a university kind of environment. Although you don't learn their courses, but this offshore learning center will provide a lot of activities for you. Although you're not their students, you're still UTS students. You can still join their activities, right? So that's a big thing to help our students to have at least some experience in campus life. The other thing is, if you decided to study at home, then we provide a one-to-one counseling. We realize not just in Australia, it's around the globe during this pandemic, right? Students, their anxiety levels and the depression levels increase exponentially. It's not a good thing because we are social animals, right? We are social creatures. We need to talk to each other. We need to communicate with each other. But you are isolated at home. How do you cope with this? That's a very important thing. So we designed this one-to-one counseling with our professional psychological kind of staff members with psychology background. So if you can actually have anything that bothers you, that make you worry, you can actually find someone professional and talk to them. All this conversation is confidential. They're not going to leak any of your information out. So that's one thing to help our students to ease their mind if they couldn't find anyone to talk to. I know if you stay home, you have your parents, but I know parents sometimes are different from our friends. So we are in the different generations. So you need someone that can listen to your own problem and understand. That's one thing. Second thing is, besides you can seek others' help and counselings, we also design a whole range of guides, resources, everything to help you to get used to this study at home kind of setup, right? So say how to deal with anxieties. We have a whole guide for that. How to deal with depressions, deal with stress. Luckily, Indonesia and Australia, the time difference is not that big. It's about 3 hours. So a student won't need to get up in the middle of the night to do our online courses. While some students in Europe, they kind of like, oh, we have 8-hour difference. So that's very stressful for them. So we have a whole guide of how to deal with stress and also how to improve your motivations. A common thing for our students doing online study at home is sometimes they couldn't find a motivation to open their computers, to turn on their Zooms and to talk to their lecturers and their fellow students online. So we tackle that problem by providing a whole range of methods to improve your motivations, right? And also, that's very good thing is we tell you how to manage your procrastinations, right? You don't want to leave everything to the last minutes. I know, I've been the student, I've been there, I've done that. I know students want to do that all the time. You leave your assignment to the very last day before your deadline, right? Yes, I can see someone smiling there. We will teach you how to manage that, how to avoid procrastinations, yeah, how to avoid this running a whole night, yeah, the last minute procrastinations. Yeah, so that's what we call the help guides and resources. Talk Campus, this is something that we designed for our students to talk to our local students and also students from other countries. So if you join this group, that means you can talk to people who actually are on campus. Most of the time they are Australians, they're like local students. They volunteer to help our international students who actually can't come to Australia to study on campus. They'll actually make a conversation group, right? To talk about either your daily lives, your hobbies, your cultural, and everything like that. Yeah. So this is something that we designed not only about academics. We try to make our students mentally healthy during this lockdown and pandemics. Now, besides that, we do have our club and societies. See, this is another thing. University is not only about learning and getting your skills. It's also about having fun. You study online doesn't mean that you can't have fun, okay? So each of our club and societies, they design the events and competitions on a weekly basis. So every week, they will have activities for you. So you can see on the right-hand side here, this is across the entire UTS communities. This is your talent show. So what do is you do a short video of what you do the best. See here, you can do dancing, you can do singing, you can do animations, you can do whatever, pianos, violins, instruments. You do a short recording, about 2 minutes videos, then you submit online to our UTS community judge panels. So they will choose the best, the best of the best winners of 2021 acts. So these competitions happens all the time. Every semester, we have dozens of those competitions going on. You have photography competitions, you have music competitions, you have drama competitions, everything now it's online. So you can submit everything online. Also, you have our design competitions. If you win a design competition, you actually get paid. By how? You design a picture for a UTS merchandise. So that will be, if you win, I got chosen, your design will be printed on a UTS shopping bag. Yeah. So there you go. They will pay you. You got money. You got the rewards. And when student holding that bag, you can see, oh, okay, I designed that bag. There you go. So all these things happening every week. So yeah, that's how we decide to help our students, even they are studying online.
Jadi nggak perlu merasa tidak nyaman seperti itu ya. Karena UTS ini menyediakan counseling one by one juga untuk teman-teman yang mungkin stres belajar online seperti itu, dan gimana juga caranya mengendalikan bahwa jangan sistem kebut semalam istilahnya kalau misalkan mengerjakan tugas, nanti akan dibantu juga oleh UTS seperti itu untuk memanage pemikiran seperti itu ya, kelakuan seperti itu. Dan every week juga ada fun activities nih yang diadakan oleh UTS, dan ada ada talent show juga dan sebagainya. Oke, thank you Thomas for your explanation. Saya mau nanya nih ke Malvin, alumni kita yang sudah hadir. Malvin, dengan kondisi border Australia yang belum dibuka, bagaimana sih Malvin menjalani proses perkuliahan online dari Jakarta? I mean, do you enjoy it? Is there any difficulties in doing online learning process, and how are you facing the ups and downs?
Thank you, Miss Alia.
Yeah.
Regarding the online learning, well, since the pandemic hit since last year, I have been doing online learning for roughly about a year from now. So I've been pretty much compatible with online learning. But when we first started doing online learning, it was very difficult and hard because it's something very new. And it's something which we do not expect as students to be learning online, especially for university. But there are some benefits in online learning, such as we have more time to spend with our families at home. And also we can do other recreational things such as learning new skills, doing entertainment, and less stress. I personally think for me, it gives me less stress than rather than going there online gives me less stress. However, there's still some limits to online studies. And also for me, the biggest challenge is the time, because as in here, Indonesia, we have a 3-hour time difference with Australia. Time is quite different. So for example, if I'm doing an assignment which is due at 11 o'clock at night, I have to finish it by 8 or 9. So we have to do it quite, we can't do it like last minute. So we have to have set a time frame and manage our time. And also through online learning, some of our lecturers, they also have certain times which we can't communicate with them. And also we have to do our own scheduling. So I think that's the only limit to online learning.
Online school. Yeah. Okay, kalau above all the struggles we face together, what kind of benefits for Indonesian students by choosing UTS as their bachelor studies program, especially when we relate to the COVID-19 impact, Mr. Thomas? I'm sorry, I think you're unmute.
Okay, normally I would say it's our great locations if the students can come to Sydney. We located in the center of the Sydney CBD areas, literally 10 minutes walk from the central transportation hubs, including train stations, bus stops, and the light rails. So I used to travel every day from home to universities. It only take me, what, half an hour? Yep. So I would say it's great locations. That's the first thing. The second thing is our rankings. I know the rankings, we do have other university in Australia ahead of us. That's the group of A. We call them Sandstone University. They're old, but we, under 50 years old, we are catching up really fast. And because our innovation kind of mindset, our technology and our facilities are relatively advanced and new. So that's really important for teaching and learning in these particular pandemic situations if you are studying offshore. Yeah. The second thing is the biggest job I would say now for our future students, graduates, is data related or IT data analytical related jobs. Yeah. It's not just me saying that, that's the conclusion from a lot of consultancy companies. So our computer school and computer science school actually is number 11 in the world. I think, I probably didn't put that on the slides, but it's by the ARWU, or what we call the Shanghai Academic Subject Rankings, University Rankings. Our computer science school is actually a very, very top school. So if students really want to get into those data analytical kind of related jobs, UTS will be your best. Even you go to do your business. In our business faculties, they are getting the new majors for our Bachelor of Business is the business analytics. So it's again, the analytical kind of a related jobs, studies. So I would say if you actually want to get ahead in your future careers, UTS is the place to go. And also in our teaching and learning perspectives, right? Practical skills and hand-on skills is one thing that UTS focus on. We don't want our students just learning knowledge from the book. We don't want them to just graduate from an ivory tower, but without any knowledge about what real industry is like. So we focus on a hands-on learning experience a lot. Take business school as an example. A lot of academics from our business school is actually a CEO or director or founder of a companies or startups or entrepreneurs, right? So they are the real industry people. So we ask them to come in, take their actual business cases to share with our students. So this kind of teaching really help our students to understand how the business works. Instead of you graduate saying, oh, I learned accounting, okay? I'm a CPA approved or certified accountant, but I only know what the books told me. In the real company, I have no idea how accounting works. No, that's not something that we want a student to leave our university, graduate from our university with. We want them to graduate with a job-ready attitude and skills. Yeah. That's fairly the reason that I think UTS is a great destination for our students.
Yeah, one of the benefits for Indonesian students that UTS already provide the offshore learning center, right?
Yes.
At UMN, right?
Yes, UMN, yes.
Yes. Okay. Kalau di UIC College sendiri nih, Miss Aryani, menawarkan benefit apa aja sih, Miss, bagi mahasiswanya yang ingin mengambil program UTS College di Jakarta?
Oke, benefit ya yang paling pertama mungkin adalah tuition fee-nya yang kemungkinan tuition fee dan biaya hidup ya. Kalau di Jakarta kan biaya hidupnya juga nggak terlalu mahal gitu. Kemudian tuition fee-nya memang juga lebih murah dibandingkan dengan tuition fee yang di Sydney, sehingga kalau mau ya buat orang tua ya, ini terutama ya untuk planning bagi anak-anaknya. Ini saya sih sebagai orang tua juga ya melihat ini adalah sesuatu yang bisa kita ambil sebagai benefit gitu ya. Kalau boleh di-share screen-nya mungkin oleh Miss Agatha atau Mr. Anthony. Kita lihat nih comparison-nya.
Oke, bentar nih.
Oke.
Oke,
Atau
Miss.
can I share?
Ya.
Oh, bisa. Oke. Saya bisa share nih. Nggak usah, nggak apa-apa. I'll do it myself. Oke, thank you. Sudah kelihatan ya screen saya. Jadi ini adalah perbandingan biaya dari UTS College di Sydney dan di Jakarta. Kalau di Jakarta biayanya 140 juta ya untuk 8 bulan. Ini tuition fee untuk tahun ini. Kemudian kalau untuk di UTS-nya sendiri untuk international student itu hampir 40.000 ya setahun. Kira-kira sama ya nih, 8 bulan sama setahun itu sama. Jadi program kita itu lebih cepat. Jadi kalau di Sydney sebenarnya ada beberapa pilihan. Kalau di kita programnya 8 bulan. Gitu. Ini untuk diploma bisnis. Saya turun ke diploma IT. Kalau di Jakarta, di UIC, biayanya 155 juta sama saja ya dengan yang tadi panjangnya 8 bulan. Kemudian untuk di sini 44.000, hampir 45.000 ya Australian dollars per tahun. Jadi cukup jauh biayanya dan ini sama ya 8 bulan kembali lagi 8 bulan di Jakarta dan setahun di sana kurang lebih sama. Yang terakhir diploma of engineering. Memang diploma engineering atau engineering studies gitu ya, siapapun yang mau belajar engineering nanti di Australia itu memang biayanya biasanya lebih tinggi dibandingkan fakultas-fakultas yang lainnya. Apalagi kalau dibandingkan dengan bisnis gitu ya, biasanya biayanya cukup jauh. Di Jakarta sama juga 8 bulan dengan biaya 155 juta. Dan di Australia ini range-nya berbeda-beda tergantung nanti stream-nya atau major-nya di dalam engineering itu yang mau diambil apa gitu ya. Banyak major-nya yang kita tahu mungkin ada mekatronik gitu, kemudian ada electrical engineering, teknik elektro gitu ya, mechanical engineering, teknik mesin. Jadi nanti tergantung mau belajarnya apa di sana untuk di fakultas engineering. Kemudian untuk scholarship, biasanya kita mendapatkan scholarship ya secara khusus dari UTS. Besaran scholarship memang berbeda-beda tergantung dari prestasi si anak, kemudian juga tergantung dari apa yang available dan diberikan oleh UTS di Sydney. Tapi biasanya selalu ada scholarship. Nanti kita sharing sedikit ya Miss Alia, kira-kira ininya apa, siapa yang dapat scholarship.
Iya, betul. Jadi dengan teman-teman mengikuti program UIC UTS College di Jakarta terlebih dahulu, teman-teman cukup membayar sekitar 140 sampai 155 juta aja per tahun. Itu untuk durasi 8 bulan atau yang biasa kita sebut 1 tahun lah. Tapi dengan di UTS, kalau teman-teman ke UTS langsung gitu, biayanya bisa hampir 400 jutaan ya. Jadi kita sudah hemat 3 kali lipatnya nih Miss Aryani ya. Jadi ayo tunggu apa lagi, mungkin teman-teman bisa masuk ke UIC UTS College di Jakarta seperti itu. Nah, jadi nanti di UTS-nya sudah masuk di tahun kedua seperti itu. Biayanya jadi cukup hemat kan ya. Nah,
lumayan ya. Plus biaya hidup loh, yang tadi belum termasuk biaya hidup ya.
Nah, itu dia. Jadi bisa hemat 1 tahun ya, Miss ya.
Iya.
Nah, Miss, tadi nih yang mengenai scholarship nih, Miss. Tentu saja kan hal tersebut jadi mendorong mahasiswa program UIC UTS College untuk terus meningkatkan prestasinya ya Miss ya. Buktinya setiap tahun pasti ada aja nih mahasiswa UIC UTS College yang mendapat apresiasi melalui pemberian scholarship dari UTS seperti itu atas pencapaian akademiknya ya. Nah, salah satunya adalah Raffi nih, yang saat ini sudah hadir bersama kita. Dan hebatnya pencapaian tahun ini, tahun 2021, juga diterima oleh salah satu murid UIC College UIC UTS College Kelapa Gading nih, yang di kampus Kelapa Gading. Boleh diceritain nggak sih, Miss, mengenai pencapaian ini?
Oke, jadi di tahun ini kita ada salah satu siswa namanya Cheryl ya, Cheryl Elizabeth Witiono. Saat ini Cheryl sedang mengambil program diploma di bisnis, intake Oktober 2020, baru selesai ya. Dan sudah menyelesaikan karena Oktober 2020, jadi sekarang udah selesai dan sudah selama 8 bulan di Jakarta. Nah ini dia Cheryl. Cheryl berhasil menjadi pemenang UTS College 2 UTS Pathway Scholarship. Yang didapatkan adalah 25% off dari tuition fee. Lumayan ya, tadi tuition fee-nya kan udah lihat semua ya. Jadi kira-kira 25%-nya off. Kemudian 25% off tuition fees, diploma to degree scholarship for students from Southeast Asia. Jadi total scholarship-nya dapatnya 50%. Jadi kalau dihitung-hitung lumayan ya. Nah ini kesempatan ini ada dan kesempatan ini bisa didapatkan oleh siapa saja gitu ya. Asalkan bisa mau bekerja keras gitu ya, seperti Cheryl. Dan ini udah ada 2 nih ya sekarang ya, sebagai bukti. Yang satu ini, yang satunya lagi Raffi. Ada lagi sih yang lainnya, cuman yang ada sekarang nih ada Raffi sekarang dan ada Cheryl. Begitu kira-kira. Terima kasih.
Oke. Menarik ya, ternyata jika teman-teman ingin mendapatkan scholarship, bisa meningkatkan akademik kalian seperti itu. Nah, saya akan ajak kita semua masuk ke part 3 dari talk show kita pada hari ini, yaitu Experience Practical and Professional Courses. Apa aja sih bentuk kegiatan belajar yang didesain bagi murid-murid program UTS College, dan gimana sih, Miss, program ini bisa merasakan metode belajar yang praktikal dan dekat dengan pemecahan masalah di industri?
Oke, jadi kalau saya lihat juga kurikulumnya ya memang sudah didesain agar mengikuti kebutuhan di industri. Tadi juga sudah disampaikan oleh Thomas ya bahwa UTS mendapatkan pengakuan dari industri dan ranking fakultinya juga tinggi. Jadi itu ada beberapa ranking yang memang didapatkannya itu karena ada pengakuan dari industri gitu ya. Kemudian saya juga biasanya menyarankan ini sih ya ke calon siswa, ke orang tua untuk melihat prestasi fakultinya dan bagaimana si faculty ini terlibat dengan industri. Jadi memang ranking general ranking itu penting gitu ya, tapi kalau kita mau belajar misalnya bisnis atau engineering, ada baiknya juga untuk melihat si prestasinya particular university itu di faculty itu gitu ya, karena bisa lebih tinggi sebenarnya dibandingkan rankingnya dia secara overall gitu. Sayang sekali untuk melewatkan faculty yang bagus gitu, walaupun sebenarnya rankingnya kalau bisa dibilang kalah dengan yang lain gitu ya, seperti tadi Thomas juga sudah mengatakan group of 8 gitu ya. Ada beberapa faculty yang UTS itu sebenarnya lebih tinggi rankingnya dibandingkan group of 8 gitu. Jadi tolong dilihat gitu ya pada saat memilih university manapun ya. Ini saat ini kita bicara tentang UTS, tapi all kinds of universities di dunia itu biasanya ada tendencies begitu. Jadi dilihat dan dicek gitu ya kira-kira prestasinya seperti apa. Untuk engineering misalnya contohnya, siswa juga kan bisa mengikuti internship di UTS ini, di mana siswa itu dapat bergabung dengan project yang sedang dijalankan oleh UTS. Karena sampai saat ini saya juga adalah salah satu staf pengajar di UTS, saya juga bisa melihat bahwa materi-materi yang disampaikan itu yang nantinya dibutuhkan saat bekerja di industri. Misalnya di salah satu kelas yang saya ajar, kita harus melihat portfolio finance ya dari sisi perusahaan untuk menentukan investasi yang paling baik misalnya gitu. Siswa ini diajarkan untuk bisa melakukan critical analysis melalui pemilihan produk-produk investment gitu ya, dengan melihat real interest rates, real inflations, kemudian real market sentiments. Jadi kita melihat bagaimana kondisi di market gitu, ada isu-isu apa gitu, isu-isu apa sih yang bisa mempengaruhi inflasi, yang bisa membuat BI itu misalnya atau central bank gitu ya membuat suatu policy, baik itu financial policies atau monetary policies untuk pemerintah gitu ya, yang akan dibuat merespon kepada real market sentiments. Jadi kira-kira seperti itulah yang diajarkan di UTS, dan desain kurikulumnya itu memang sudah didesain seperti itu. Gitu.
Untuk
Jadi
dekat dengan industri
ya,
juga gitu ya.
betul. Jadi ya mudah-mudahan bisa memberikan gambaran ya atas apa yang diajarkan di UTS.
Oke, thank you, Miss. Oke, mungkin kita coba tanya nih ke Raffi, teman-teman. Raffi, what do you think about the content of UTS college program, especially when we talk about the basic before continuing to the second year at UTS and for bridging the path to your career?
Right. So in terms of the content, I feel like the lecturer were able to deliver it in a very clear and thorough way. I particularly love the smaller classes. They were able to tailor the content and personalize it based on what the students are struggling on and what they need to work on. So they focus less on the things that the students were able to grasp relatively quickly and focus more on the things that they need to work on. They were also very knowledgeable. I think a lot of them have experience working and teaching in the subject that they're teaching. So very knowledgeable. From recollection, they were able to answer a lot of my questions. And I think all of my lecturers back then have studied overseas before. Some were in Australia. And so they know what's expected of them and they know what it's like. And they also help you achieve your study objectives. They're very, very helpful, approachable, friendly. So it's super comfortable to ask them questions. And they also make sure you understand the assessment brief and the marking scheme. So they go through the assessment brief and marking scheme. They ask if you've got any problems with it, if you have any questions. They make sure you know what's expected of you for the assignments. They give a lot of guidance on that. So for example, I want to get an HD. What should I do to get that HD? And then they will help guide you there. The assignments themselves, they were mostly essays, reports, and presentations. About 80% of the assignments were group work. So there were lots of group work, which is really important to develop your interpersonal skills, especially when you come into the workforce, in your career, you have to work with people, you have to work with your team. So people skills is very, very important. The assignments were also very practical and hands-on. One that I remember I loved was called MYOB. So MYOB is short for Mind Your Own Business. It's actually an accounting software. And for this assignment, we have to create our own business. And then we had to make projections of the business transactions, and we had to input them to the accounting system, such as the sales, costs, and etc. So it's very practical, very hands-on, especially if you're planning to be an accountant. So afterwards, to sum up, I feel like the content were relevant. They were practical, realistic. A lot of the case studies were actually based on events that happened in real life, such as the GFC in 2008 and so on and so forth. In terms of link to second year in UTS, I've done my own research. I've asked around, I've asked my friends who took their first year here in UTS. I asked if I can see their lecture and tutorial materials, their assessment briefs, their marking schemes, and they were exactly the same as the one that I got. They were exactly the same. Nothing was different in any bit. So it's really the same. So don't be afraid of how it links to second year here in UTS, because what you're getting in UTS college is exactly the same as what you will get if you were to enroll in first year here in UTS. Yeah, that's it for me.
Jadi memang secara materi pembelajarannya pun akan diberikan secara jelas gitu ya, dan dosen-dosen pun akan membantu para siswanya jika memang ada kesulitan seperti itu. Dan untuk untuk secara kurikulumnya pun juga memang dekat dengan dunia industri dan disamakan dengan dunia industri dan apa yang sedang happening saat ini seperti itu ya.
Yes, very practical.
Okay. For Mr. Thomas, talking about preparing work-ready graduates, how does UTS help the students, and what is the employability rate for UTS graduates, Mr.?
All right. Yes, I'll refer back to my slides before. Okay, where is it? Here. Right. Now, let me talk about the skills that we want our students to obtain during their studies at UTS to be job ready. Now, even you are studying online, offshore in Indonesia or anywhere around the world, we provide this online help. It's called a career hub. So if you are students, if you log in your career hub using your student numbers and your password, you can log in this whole interface to find a lot of helpful kind of tips and opportunities for your job searching. Not only, we actually post a lot of job opportunities. Okay, let me just find something for you right now. Okay, so career hubs. Now on the website, I can see that it shows we want some mathematics tutors for coaching center. We want undergraduate civil engineers 2022. We want some child activities coaches. So all these jobs are there for you to take. Okay, so this is our job opportunities. So I think right now I can see that I posted about 500 something there. So that is open to all our students to try to do it. Please remember these jobs, some of them are required to be physically in Australia. You need to be here, but some of them you don't have to, because some of the jobs you can do it remotely online. So when you read this carefully, so you can actually apply, even you are offshore. Okay. Now, second one is a career group coaching sessions. This is a very interesting thing. We have professional full-time dedicated staffs in our career center to help our students do the following stuff. Okay. How do you write a resume? In different countries, we have a different standard of resumes. I personally have seen a lot of resumes. They are very different from one to another person, right? So you need to learn how to write an appropriate resume, how to do your cover letter. Okay, that's one thing. The next thing we have is a career chat. I think this one will happen on the 6th of July, 2021. This is talking about how do you do an interview, okay? So if we have our alumni, Rafi and Melvin there, so if you actually can log into your student account and career hub, you can find that it's called career chats interviews, yeah? To teach you how to do interviews in Australia. That's one thing. I can tell you, interview is extremely important. Maybe you don't have the skill sets, but if you actually come on top in the interview, you may get the job than the one who actually better than you, but who doesn't really communicate that well. Okay. The other one is we have how to be a startups, how to do your own business, how to be entrepreneurs. Okay, because now more and more often now, we want our students to be innovative, not just do a conventional jobs 9 to 5. 5 days a week. So we encourage our students to do their own business, right? So we do have it's called UTS Startups. This particular divisions is help our students to get their ideas to take off, yeah, to become a real industry, to become a real company of their own, okay? So that's another thing. Leadership skills, that's including global citizens, yeah, a lot of international students participate in these programs. They're not only in Australia, they actually encourage students to go to different countries to participate in our programs, so that to build up their global leaders and global citizen awareness. So this is the career helps that we provide to our students. Now, some student I can see in the chat box ask me, is that okay? Is it common for students to find a job in Australia? Oh, yes. I would say, I can't say 100%. That won't be true. I would say more than 80 or 90% of students, international students in Australia, will somehow find a part-time job during their studies. Yeah. First is, well, somehow financially support their living in Australia. The other thing is experience. Yeah, experience is extremely important. If you actually go to a company with another fellow students, the same kind of ideas, exactly the same resumes experience, but he has worked in a particular job that you haven't. Well, he got the upper hand and he probably will be picked. So finding a job is actually, it's quite necessary in Australia, but keep that in mind. Finding a job should not affect your academic studies. If you do like, I don't know, more hours than you're supposed to, and affecting your grading, your grades, your exams, then, well, then you lost the watermelon to pick the sesames, right? For our employabilities, okay, so in Australia, we're the number 7. So in the world, our university graduates are ranked 69th in the world. This is a survey done by a lot of employers. So they will say, okay, how competitive our graduates are, how satisfied they are about our students after they graduate and enter the real industries. So internationally, we ranked 69th in employability. I can show you some of our industry connections. This slide is for our business schools. Yeah. So a student who is doing Bachelor of Business, Bachelor of Management, Bachelor of Economics. So here is your industry connections. Yeah. You recognize some of the international big names, the KPMGs, Deloitte, Morgan Stanley, Microsoft. Then we do also have some of the local ones, the City of Sydney. This is our city councils. Yeah, Amazon, you have Commonwealth Bank. This is the biggest commercial bank in Australia. This is our national airlines. Yeah, so this is all our industry connections. You can find your internships in those companies. You just need to connect with your faculty career office. Now in FEIT, this is our engineering and IT. So if you are doing a Bachelor of Science in IT or Bachelor of Engineering honors, so this is the industry partners of our Faculty of Engineering and IT, okay? So again, do contact your faculty career office. I need to mention this, for our engineering students, internship, it's mandatory, okay? So it normally done, your final years, you need to do your internships. This is a must. Without finishing these internships, you can't graduate, okay? That's for engineering students. For other degrees, to get an internship, I strongly recommend it, but it's not a mandatory component of your course. Only for engineering students, you have to do it, okay? So that's the thing that we provide for our students in terms of, oh yeah, we do also have the job fairs on campus. If you come to our campus, right, we will have a job fair, I think twice a year. So the company will come to the campus, build up their kind of a store, and you actually go in and talk to those HR people from different companies. And besides that, we do have seminars. I think it's 3 times a year, a big seminars for our fresh graduates for their career plans. Yep, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Thomas. I mean, do you know how many international students per year was finding a job through UTS Work Hub?
I don't have that data in hand. Okay. Finding a job as an international student, how hard is it? First of all, it depends on the industry. And also depends on your personal skills. As I said before, interview and communication skills, it's extremely important. Most of the people some people get shortlisted for the interview, but most of them won't pass the interview. The problem is, first of all, it's your English levels, right? So, but if you can come to UTS after you complete your diploma, I won't doubt about your skills in English, that's fine. But it's the way that you communicate with people. effectively, and your talk, your conversations, your answers has to be logically organized. I personally used to interview people. I can really tell how good their communication skills are just through a several sentence question and answers. So if you actually polish your skills in talking to people, then that will help you a lot in securing these job positions. The other one is the experience. That's why I said this is not only for the international students, this is for local Australian students as well. While you are studying, do you get a job? Do you get a job, a part-time job? Yes, very important. Especially the one that is related to whatever you are studying. Yeah. Well, people say, well, if I work in McDonald's, would that help in the future? Well, I wouldn't say absolutely won't. It's better than people who never done a job before, but try to find a job that is closely aligned with your study and with your discipline. That is really important. So how common is a student finding a job? As all the students that I know of, they all find a job in Australia within 6 months after they graduate. That's my personal experience. Can I just exaggerate to cover every student in Australia? I wouldn't do that. But I would say in Australia, as long as you determine to find a job, it is not that difficult. It is not that difficult. The competitions in Australia, it's nowhere close to the one that in Japan or in China, because I worked in China for 1 year or 2 years. The competition there, compared with Australia, it's crazy. So in Australia, it's okay. It's not that difficult, I would say.
Okay, thank you. Jadi misalkan teman-teman ingin mencari pekerjaan di Australia itu sebenarnya tidak sesulit di China atau di Jepang seperti itu, dan untuk tingkat kompetisinya itu juga nggak setinggi di Cina dan Jepang ya seperti itu. Oke. Nah, Raffi, boleh diceritain nggak sih journey kamu dulu lulus setelah dari UTS dan kemudian bekerja di WPP AUNZ itu seperti apa?
Right. So after graduating, I actually went to UTS Careers and I asked them to help me polish my CV. So I actually did 3 extracurricular activities while I was studying to help boost my CV. So I became a UPass leader for the subject Cost Management Systems. It's the 2nd year accounting subject, CMS for short. UPass is a student-led peer learning class. So I run about 2 to 3 classes per week to help students struggling with this CMS subject. I also became an IBP mentor. IBP is short for Integrating Business Perspectives. It's a 1st year business subject. It's a subject that all business students need to take. And as a mentor, I became the tutor's assistant to assist in facilitating the tutorials. And this is 1 to twice per week. I also became an exam scribe, supervisor, and leader. So this is working with the UTS disability and for students with special needs and care to help them take their exam. And while I was a student, I won an award for the subject ABC. It's short for Accounting Business Combinations. It's a 2nd year accounting subject, and this award is only received by the top 1% of all accounting students in UTS. So I put all of these things in my CV, and then I started applying for jobs. 1.5 months afterwards, I got a job with WPP. So WPP is the largest advertising agency with headquarters based in London. WPP is a group. It's kind of like Procter & Gamble or Johnson's & Johnson. My role is as the group system support. What I do is I am the admin or the super user of the financial ERP system that the WPP group uses here in AUNZ. So I support the AU and NZ region. As a super user, I am audited. There's SOX audit, and my job is basically to help troubleshoot issues that the users of the financial ERP systems have. So they would submit a ticket, and I would then get the ticket and I would solve the issue. So I'm behind the help desk. Sometimes it can be like a technical issue, or the person doesn't really know how to use the ERP system, or issues with like jobs or projects, invoices, purchase orders, basically system related issues related with the financial ERP system. I also help improve the system. I make recommendations on how we can make the ERP system better for the end users. And I escalate these recommendations to the product team, the ones who develop the ERP system, so the engineers. And I also do UAT testing. So every time they update the system, I do testings before we actually launch it for the group to use. So yeah, that's my job.
Kamu ya, kamu sampai di posisi sekarang, even kamu dulu pernah jadi social worker juga kan ya sebelum di sini gitu. Nah, jadi kuncinya tuh sebenarnya kalau mau punya pekerjaan di Australia adalah skill yang teman-teman teman-teman miliki. Salah satunya seperti yang sudah di-mention Thomas tadi, harus ada skill komunikasi juga. Kemudian as long as teman-teman berusaha mencari pekerjaan di Australia itu nggak akan sulit seperti itu. Nah, oke, teman-teman, nggak lengkap nih rasanya kalau kita nggak lihat video campus facility and its surroundings dari UIC College Kampus Kelapa Gading, and of course UTS also ya. Mari kita simak video berikut ini. Mungkin kita mulai dari UIC College dulu kali ya. Silahkan, Anthony.
Hi everyone, welcome to Unisaduguna Kelapa Gading Campus Tour. I'm Clarice and I'm your alumni from UIC Kelapa Gading. Today, I will be showing you guys around our wonderful campus. Come on, let's go inside. Now we're in the main lobby of Unisaduguna Kelapa Gading campus. Once you step into our campus, you will be greeted by our friendly receptionist who will attend to all your needs and inquiries. While waiting, you'll see this big tree standing tall in the middle of our campus. This tree signifies growth and development of Unisaduguna. The tree also represents how we have stood tall since 1994, and these branches represent students who have graduated ever since and have become successful leaders in many fields. You will also see the same tree standing in our Pondok Indah and BSD campuses, which signifies growth, journey, knowledge, and support to all of our students across all campuses. Before we start on our tour, shall we say hi to our head of campus first? Come on, follow me. Hi, Miss Aryani. How are you?
Hi, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm good. So this is Miss Aryani. She is our head of campus, and she is responsible in shaping a vision of academic success for all students and ensuring that we have a brighter future ahead. Now that we have met her, let's continue on our tour. Our first stop right here is our very own computer lab. The computer lab, or also known as our Mac lab, provides students with advanced technology in helping them to improve their learning journey. On top of that, our campus is also equipped with strong internet connection, ensuring that students and staff are able to work effectively. Moving on, we want to make sure that every one of you are in good hands. So, if you have any questions regarding your study pathways through our various international education programs, our admission team is ready to help you and assist you in getting accepted by your dream university. Now, moving on to my most favorite place in the campus, the library. Come on, let's go! Look, there's my friend Adrian sitting over there. Let's say hi, shall we?
Oh, hey, Clarice. What are you
Hi.
doing here?
I'm just showing these guys around our wonderful campus. Do you want to join us?
Yeah, sure. So the library is one of the most favorite places for students to hang out during their free time. The library has a complete collection of books and resources to help them with their studies.
The library also has a very comfortable atmosphere so that we are able to focus on studying, doing our assignments, doing researches, or just simply having quality time with our friends.
Yep, but don't get too comfortable though. The library is only open from Monday to Friday, from 9 to 4 p.m. Let me put my stuff in my locker before we continue with our tour. This
We have 9 classrooms consisting of 6 to 25 seats. The learning system in UniPrep and UIC College is generally a small class system where there are only 10 to 15 students in one class. By doing so, Unisaduguna ensures that we are able to learn effectively and gain more knowledge from our highly qualified teachers and lecturers.
The UIC teaching system combines the academic and professional world. Students will have lectures, case study, project, and also presentation.
Hey Clarice, here's your coffee.
Thanks.
During breaks or after classes, students can hang out here in the student lounge. Here, students can tell their friends about their day and also bond over food. I mean, who doesn't like food, right? And don't worry, here in the student lounge, everything will be provided. They have snacks and drinks to energize yourself and fill your stomach.
Hey, let's show them the room downstairs.
Sure, let's go.
Let's go.
Watch your step. Come and follow us down to see what we have. This big area here is our campus auditorium, with the capacity of approximately 200 people. We often hold various events in this place, such as seminars, workshops, competitions, guest speaker sessions, and many more. And that's about it. I think you've seen everything our campus has to offer. Oh, one more thing. Our campus is located at Mall Kelapa Gading, which means you have direct access to the mall. So whenever you need to go to the ATM, restaurants, bookstore, or even to get just a scoop of ice cream to brighten up your day. How convenient is that?
Here at Unisaduguna, you'll get the perfect balance in your education journey. Not only that you will gain education and knowledge experiences, you will also gain character building and prepare you as noble scholars to make a difference and be future leaders of our nation. And that's all for today. Hope you had fun on our campus tour. We are excited to welcome you in joining our Unisaduguna International Education family, and let's experience the international learning journey together. Because it all starts here. I'm Clarice.
And I'm Adrian.
Signing off from Unisaduguna Kelapa Gading campus. Thank you and see you soon.
All right, next we have UTS Video Campus Tour. My friend Anthony will help us. Okay. Well, it won't be completed yet if we don't capture our moment through a virtual photo shoot. Please open your camera and my colleague Anthony will help us to be ready. Please, Anthony. Kita foto dulu nih teman-teman supaya punya momen untuk dikenang. Mungkin bisa buka kameranya ya. Untuk guest speaker also. Oke. Silahkan Anthony.
Baik, dalam hitungan ketiga. 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi ya. Oke. 1, 2, 3. Oke, terima kasih.
Thank you, Anthony. Nah, sebelum kita masuk ke Q&A, saya mau menayangkan sebuah video tentang salah satu student kita, Cheryl Elizabeth Witiono, yang berhasil mendapat predikat winner of the UTS College to UTS Pathway Scholarship di Indonesia. Jadi Cheryl ini berhasil mendapatkan potongan 25% dari tuition fee UTS College to UTS Pathway Scholarship dan dari diploma ke degree scholarship for students dari Southeast Asia di UTS gitu. Jadi total scholarship yang Cheryl dapatkan 50% seperti itu ya. Dan Cheryl ini salah satu alumni dari UIC UTS College di Kelapa Gading nih. Mungkin bisa ditayangkan nih videonya. Dan kita sangat bangga nih dengan pencapaian Cheryl. Oke, thank you. Baik, kita akan masuk ke sesi tanya-jawab nih. Mungkin udah ada yang bertanya di kolom chat box. Akan saya bacakan satu persatu. Ya, sudah ada yang bertanya nih. I think this question is for Mr. Thomas. Will the learning process will be online, like everything is online, and when is the border will open? Because he heard that maybe in 2022 or 2024 will be open for international students. Is it right? Because we are still waiting for the proposal.
Well, as I said before, the secure corridor that we submit to the federal governments, that we do not know that when the government will be approving that. But it was mentioned in the federal budget for 2021 and 2022. Government is proposing to open the border next year, I think. But see, this is the thing. COVID-19, it's a forever changing kind of situations, right? I cannot give a definite answer when the border will be fully open to welcome our students. I personally hope, and I think all our UTS staff all hope that the border should be open for our students soon. But again, I can't give you a definite answer. Well, I think the answer only can be answered by, the question can only be answered by our Prime Minister, Scott Morrison. So there you go. Sorry that I can't provide a more definite answer than that.
Right, it's okay. Jadi memang pemerintah Australia juga belum tahu nih kapan akan membuka border untuk international student, karena yang hanya diizinkan masuk ke Australia adalah citizen yang ada di luar negeri, citizen Australia yang ada di luar negeri, maupun permanent resident seperti itu. Jadi semoga secepatnya untuk international student bisa dibuka, jadi teman-teman bisa merasakan experience untuk kuliah di UTS itu seperti apa sih, atau mungkin di universitas lainnya seperti itu ya. Okay, I think that's it for the question. Seluruh pertanyaannya sudah dijawab, and I think that's it for our talk show. Seru banget nih topik yang kita bahas hari ini bersama masing-masing narasumber, dan sangat inspiratif ya, dan dapat membuka banyak pengetahuan baru untuk kita semua terkait gimana sih ngambil degree di Australia tersebut. Nah, untuk teman-teman nih yang ingin bergabung di UIC UTS College, kita ada promo nih. Saya punya announcement bahwa kita dari UIC College Kelapa Gading memiliki promo untuk teman-teman yang ingin bergabung di program UTS College pada Oktober 2021 ini. Teman-teman bisa mendapatkan diskon early bird sebesar 10 juta, up to 10 juta, dan teman-teman bisa mendapatkan academic reward up to 5 juta. Wah, banyak banget kan ya. Dan ada additional discount sebesar 5 juta jika teman-teman ingin membayar DP jika teman-teman membayar DP terlebih dahulu sebesar 2 juta rupiah sebelum tanggal 11 Juli 2021. Dan tentunya seperti yang sudah saya mention sebelumnya, promo ini hanya berlaku di Kelapa Gading Campus ya, kalau misalkan teman-teman mau mengambil program UTS College di Kelapa Gading Campus seperti itu. Well, nggak sulit untuk mewujudkan mimpi kalian untuk kuliah di university impian kalian di luar negeri. Be the change, your big opportunities are out there. Finally, I'm Alia, signing off. Thank you to all the speakers who joined today's virtual talk show. If you have questions about UIC UTS College program, you may contact our admission team at the phone number that we have shared in the chat box. Stay safe and goodbye, everyone. And please stay at home. Thank you. Thank you to Thomas, Miss Aryani, Miss Mariam, and our alumni, Malvin and Rafi, for your time, for your sharing. Please stay safe, guys.
Yes, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you, our alumni. Bye.
Bye.